Hi everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to do probably my largest lazysusan ever, as this is an 18-incher. And I got this I actually got it from Tammy DeCaro, from Tammy DeCaro Art, who got them off of Faire. And I will show you the bottom of this at some point. Maybe I'll inset the actual manufacturer here. So yeah, that's what I'm working on today. And I just tested out this color palette on a little 8-inch clock, and it's gonna look really cute. And I love this color combination. So let's just get started. I've got my Glidden 6011N. This is my pillow paint. So if you guys have followed me, you'll know that I've been through an odyssey with some problems with multi-pro here and there, and maybe it was just a couple bad batches I had. But I'm taking a break from multi-pro for a little bit. Gonna get this to whirl. The Glidden, I, knock on wood, pretty much always have pretty good success with. It's a little thinner than the multi-pro. But if you decant it for a couple days, it thickens right up. That might be as far as I'm going to go right here. If you've noticed me before, I've got this taped underneath. I don't go all the way to the edge. I'll let my spinning take care of that. So we're gonna go with this, I think. Okay, colors. This is my TLP Sea Glass with a little tiny bit of Master's Touch Ocean Green. Beautiful color. Now let's find center. And I'm going to put a good amount of this down. Now the interesting thing about this color combination, and I'll tell you about it a little more when we get to the last color, is that I'm mixing pouring mediums here. On the last color, I've got the Infinity pouring medium working. I ran myself out of the Valspar that I typically use. I'm going to put a lot of paint down. This is bigger than my normal size, and I tend to be a little stingy, so I'm not going to be stingy on this. I have Valspar. Actually, I have Valspar, my normal 833124 semigloss, and actually, the Valspar, which is high gloss, the semigloss is something new that I just tried, and I'm really happy with how the semigloss worked. Semigloss works fine. And it's cheaper. It's always a bonus. This is Amsterdam's Sky Blue Light. And this is becoming one of my favorites. I go through phases of favorites depending on what I'm working on and how the paints are playing together. And now we have Golden's Iridescent Pearl. And I am a drizzler and have a simple philosophy on drizzling. I believe if I lay down a lattice work, like you see, these paints are going to have a lot more chance to breathe through each other. We actually have a really nice day, but I'm still waiting for the humidity in this room to come down a little bit so I can do some resining. I've been kind of on a standstill. We I do have a wall unit here that's a dehumidifier, but I'd really rather not run it. I'd really rather have nature take care of itself. Oh, this color. This is gorgeous. I love this color. I had this a long time ago and I used it a lot and I ran myself out of it and then I never got any more. And then Jerry's Artorama was having a fantastic sale, 40% off Golden. This is Golden's Cerulean Blue Deep. I'll flash up the color. And I had to get some. This is Amsterdam's Greenish Blue with 2 drops of Golden's Carbon Black. And it's the High Flow Carbon Black. And I sure hope this turns out pretty good the first try. You don't see me doing a whole lot of try-overs, but when I do oftentimes I'll show them to you. All right, I'm gonna move everything out of the way. Let me explain what I'm gonna do here. So I've got my Berta 1000 water off Amazon a few years ago. I don't think they sell this color anymore, this type, but they probably do have 1000 water. Cool setting. I put cool and high and I blow it out. But first I'm going to lay down my cell activator. Got my Amsterdam white, titanium white, and this is my American Floetrol cell activator recipe. I made this, made the white on 6/24, so this is about a month. It's about 6 weeks old now, this cell activator. And this is the black, and this black is even older than that. I think this black is from January. So I'm gonna drop my cell activator in, I'm going to blow it out with my mouth to get it started, and I'm gonna hit it with the hairdryer. And hopefully I get a really good blow. And you notice that when I blow it out, I don't go past the framework of my pillow. This is gonna be kind of my holding area. So I'm a little nervous because this is bigger than I normally do. And I have a step stool here that I will step on as I get ready to blow this out with the hairdryer. All right, this is gonna be a big one. A little extra scoop of cell activator here. This is bigger than usual. That's the white. Black. And blow it out, and then we're going to blow it out with a hairdryer. So everyone, I talked through the blowout, and what I'm doing here is blowing actually straight down into the cell activator to try to get it to open up in as much a circle as possible. And just so you know, I do have a really good cell activator video, 141, I'm linking it above. I show you how I mix up my ingredients and how I make my American Floetrol cell activator. So here I am blowing it out with a hairdryer. I don't have any attachments on it. I'm just blowing it out, trying to get the composition I'm looking for prior to stretching it out with the spin. So I'm just hitting it with a hairdryer, trying to get in behind the cell activator and blowing it out in all directions. And notice I'm not aiming my hairdryer straight down into the paint. I'm getting behind where the cell activator is met up with the paint, and I'm kind of just pushing it out with the air in all directions as I go around. If you end up blowing down too far or too hard, you're going to end up hitting pillow, which is not what you want in your composition. So here I'm just going to give it an eyeball, one little gust of wind, and then I'm going to put this down because that hairdryer can be quite dangerous in the hands of a wild woman. We will stop with that. I always have to temper myself with how far do I want to go and the risk of blowing into the pillow. So if you're newer, let me explain what I'm doing with the straw. I'm just blowing straight down into the cell activator to get it to spread out so that the paints underneath can push up through and form those nice, pretty round cells that you want to see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stretch it out with my finger, just pushing the pillow to the edge. I'll probably skip ahead here. But this color combination is really pretty. I mean, you can't go wrong with blue. And then when I get ready to blow the, stretch this out with the spin, I'm going to go oh so slowly in the beginning. And then we'll pick up the pace, depending on how things develop. Okay. I'm going to center it up a little bit because I'm a little bit off to that side. I really like to come back to the middle a little bit if I can. You have to be careful with your tilting, especially when you haven't spun yet, because the weight of the paint could crush the center, so just be careful with that. I don't mind if the center composition's off a little bit, but I try to go real slow to start with, and I want it to try to blow out in all directions all at once. Speaking of blowing, I might go into the middle again, just a little bit with the straw. So I'm doing this, I just want to direct your attention to my description. If you click on the title, the description, I have links to some educational type tutorials and also links to the products that I use. You'll find also a 10% discount code for Chaos Resin in there as well. Got a little spin, still not too fast. I don't want to go over the edge so quickly right there, but I don't think I'm going to have much choice. All right, I think we're about good. Got a couple white spots. I'll have to get to them in a second, but I'm going to keep spinning right now. Got my junk bucket over here for my ornaments. If you haven't seen my ornaments playlist, I'm going to link it above. I got some really cool bloom transfer ornaments to look at and try to play with yourself. Give you a lot of good information. I'm really proud of how much information I share with everybody. I really like that. I like to share, you know. Get rid of some of these white spots. Just kiss it with the tip of the toothpick. Just tip it. If you dunk it, if you go excavating for the paint, for the white to kill the white spot, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to pull up a bunch of pillow, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so now we're looking really good. Actually, we're looking really good. Let me just keep going here. So as we continue along here, I'm going to cut out spots, especially during the spinning, that you don't need to see. I really like that right there. I need to keep that. I need to see how much I have in the middle. As you're blowing these out, you want to make sure you get enough paint off. Let's check the middle. I need to spin some more off. You don't need to spin like a wild woman either. Just gentle spins. It's spreading. Look how far that spread. Just remember where I was. Gorgeous. I like the way it's going out. I'm probably going to lose a lot of my negative space. Let's check the middle again. It's not bad. So here I'm going to use the palette knife to do a couple embellishments here and there, and I'm only going to show you the embellishments and not the thinking in between each of the steps. And what's in my mind is just to try to preserve some of the negative space, the white space, as much as I can, pulling it back into the composition, and then also extending some of the color into the negative space as we go. One more spin, get some more off. Let's take the middle. It's a little more than I typically want, so I'm going to give it another spin. I don't want to lose the negative space, but then again, I don't want to lose the whole thing because this just goes to show you, you don't need much paint to start with because it's going to spread. Just trust the spread. And oftentimes you find the more you spin it actually comes out looking better. The composition becomes more settled. So what I'll do, I'm going to clean up the bottom so that the paint stops pulling, and I'll get you an overhead shot and we will put this bad boy to bed and hope that everything comes out fine and no warp on this one. And by the way, oh, you saw that I had already primed it. I primed it with, this has become my go-to primer on Lazy Susans. All right, I'm gonna call that done and we will see you probably after it's been resined. All right, everyone, we're gonna do the drawing for the paints that I'll show. And these were only the ones that entered for this drawing. So I'm going to put your names in the bag, and it's hard to do with one hand on the camera and one hand unavailable. So we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna pull out a name, and here is one, I think, Kim Grennan. So Kim, congratulations. I've already reached out to her for arranging for shipping of the paints, and stay tuned for future giveaways as I will have some in the upcoming weeks and probably months. All right, everybody, here's the wet results coming up. So here are the wet results immediately after the creation, followed up by the resined results as I always share with you so you see how it turned out. I do want to point out I do have a full creation tutorial from taping off to finish, sanding and finishing off. Video 312, I'm going to link it above so you can check out that. And I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're new here, please consider joining me by subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. I have a lot of playlists with different types of creations from coasters and ornaments and clocks, Lazy Susans like this, charcuterie boards, even yo-yos. I've got a lot of things to take a look at that you might decide you want to try creating. And a lot of the pieces I create are excellent for gifts, and Lazy Susans are excellent for sales. So if you want me to create something for you, just reach out to me. My email is in the description. And I think that's all I have for now. So everyone, take care. Till next time.